Tonight, reopen the border. That's Stauber's message to world leaders, why he thinks Canada needs to scale back COVID measures. Plus, Wisconsin is among the nation's leaders in COVID vaccines administered, how they're faring in rural areas. Plus, fighting for relief, Minnesota's junior senator is fighting for utility relief after we learned some customers could see a surge in prices.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us tonight. The border between the U.S. and Canada has been closed for nearly a year now, greatly impacting those who work and live in northern Minnesota. Now there's a push from one of the Northland's federal lawmakers asking Canada's Prime Minister to lift restrictions as COVID-19 cases continue to trend downward. CBS3's Natalie Grand spoke with Congressman Stauber about what he's hearing from those impacted in the Northland. Natalie, what did he have to say?
Well, Tony, right now, the border between the United States and Canada is scheduled to reopen on Monday. That is, if Prime Minister Justin Trudeau does not extend the closure like he's done several times over the past year. Stauber has written letters to President Joe Biden conveying the importance of having those borders open. Stauber says the closure is impacting borderland economies and businesses, but also those who own homes or cabins in Canada who have not been able to visit their properties since March of last year. Stauber says that with vaccines increasing and COVID cases trending downward, there is an opportunity to reopen safely.
You know, we're looking at on the backside of this COVID, we've got the vaccination. We've got some say herd immunity in just a couple of weeks. So we have the ability to really open up our economy. That includes our border communities on both sides, both the Canadian and the United States side, and in our case, the Minnesota side.
Now, Stauber did add that this is an issue for lawmakers on both sides of the aisle that represent border areas across the country. And when I did speak to Representative Stauber, he says that he has not heard any word from the president since sending that letter, but says it was not a topic of conversation in their most recent meeting. Tony?
And tonight at 10, we hear from one business out of Grand Portage that has been feeling the impacts of the border closure firsthand. Natalie Grant live for us in the newsroom tonight. Thanks, Natalie. All right, let's head over to Dave now for our first look at the weather at 6 o'clock tonight. Dave, a lot of sunshine out there for folks today.
Yeah, in between snow showers as we've had a trio of low pressure systems work their way towards and past our area. The first two didn't do too much in the way of snow. Though we take a look at the Doppler map, there's still a couple of snow flurries popping up in parts of the arrowhead of Minnesota. But if we take a live look at what's going on in Two Harbors, it doesn't look like any of those flurries fell on Two Harbors, or if they did, they didn't stick very well. These three lows have been very, very weak. And despite the sunshine today, the third of the three is going to be with us tomorrow, and that'll be kicking in another chance for light snow, perhaps the weakest of the trio. We had marginal totals at first low and just the dusting last night. Maybe another dusting is coming our way for Friday night. It's a 30% chance for light snow Friday afternoon and evening. Another warm one tomorrow, high temps near 38 degrees. Can that last forever, or will a cool down be coming for the latter half of the weekend? I'll show you which way the wind blows and the temperatures go with the 7-day forecast in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Minnesota has a plan to vaccinate more people. Governor Tim Walz says in order to move on to the next priority group, 70% of Minnesotans 65 and older need to have at least one dose. They're expecting to reach that mark by the end of March. When they do, the state will open vaccine appointments to people with certain high-risk health conditions, including Down syndrome, cancer, COPD, and other lung and heart conditions. More essential workers will also be eligible. Walz says vaccine hesitancy has a lot to do with why they want to add more priority groups when the state reaches 70% vaccination rates among 65 and older residents versus waiting for 100%.
This is a freeway that's being built, and that freeway is running, and we're almost done with the healthcare folks there. The seniors, we're moving up, and we're going to get to 70%. That lane will continue on at 65 miles an hour, and we will merge in another lane because we have more vaccines.
For a full look at what conditions or professions are included in each phase of Minnesota's vaccine distribution, head to our website, cbs3duluth.com. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the state's GOP party says today's announcement is a step in the right direction, but they added that the rollout has been complicated and online sign-ups have become a barrier for older Minnesotans. Wisconsin continues to be one of the top states when it comes to getting COVID-19 shots into people's arms. CBS3's Emma Quinn checked in with health officials in Bayfield County to see how they're faring in distribution with the challenges of serving a rural community.
Everybody's aware that there's 500,000 people that have died from COVID over the last year. I've had 2 friends that have died from COVID.
Retired physician Dr. Tom Cunningham is one of many volunteering for the Bayfield County Public Health Department's vaccine clinic.
Being retired, I really wasn't actively involved in helping with the pandemic, and this gave my wife and I both an opportunity to do something.
While the county has vaccinated almost 50% of the 65 and older population, it has come with some challenges.
We also know that the 65 plus, not everybody has good access to internet, Wi-Fi, smartphone capability. So that is one challenge too, and we're working with Human Services, delivering paper forms where applicable through the Meals on Wheels program.
Along with paper forms, the county has set up a hotline number people can call and register over the phone. Meanwhile, the supply and demand for the vaccine has shown other challenges.
We have over 15 different locations across the county that we've applied to provide vaccine for. However, the amount of vaccine we've been getting has been the limiting factor.
The Bayfield County Public Health Department has doubled its staff for vaccine efforts, so when they eventually receive more doses, they'll be taking volunteers like Dr. Cunningham to those sites.
We haven't been out much in the last year, so it's been enjoyable talking with people. It's good to know that we're out there trying to help with this horrible situation.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin's teachers and child care workers will be eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine starting Monday. Teachers and child care providers should expect to have an appointment later in March or early April. The state has vaccinated about 50% of residents age 65 and older. Minnesota Senator Tina Smith is asking regulators to investigate possible price gouging of natural gas, not only in Texas, but here in Minnesota as well. The sub-freezing temperatures and the ensuing disaster in Texas has led to a surge in natural gas demand and a sharp increase in prices. Prices rose as much as 100% in February. The impact is expected to eventually hit Minnesota gas consumers.
I asked the Department of Energy to look into potential price gouging and also look into other tools we have at the federal level to mitigate the impacts of this. And the other thing that's happened, of course, is that in Minnesota, the Public Utilities Commission is looking into what the state can do.
If you're struggling to pay your energy bills, you can turn to Minnesota's Energy Assistance Program. A Minnesota group focused on reducing deadly encounters with police gave an update on its progress today. The working group on police-involved deadly force encounters formed in 2019. It includes people from communities around the state, law enforcement, criminal justice, and public policy backgrounds. A year ago, the group published 28 recommendations and 33 action steps aimed at reducing deadly force encounters with law enforcement. Since then, those recommendations have been used to pass police reform. Attorney General Keith Ellison says the work is not done, but the group remains focused.
A lot has happened. We still don't agree on everything, but we agree on this, that we should work to reduce deadly force encounters with law enforcement, and we agree that that is a noble goal.
Governor Tim Walz thanked the group for their work. He says the recommendations were used in the most recent budget proposal, an example of how the state continues to work towards equity. A new multi-million-dollar manufacturing facility is in the works for the city of Cohasset, hoping to create jobs and boost their economy. The $4 million facility will be funded by a grant from the Economic Development Administration. It will have 25,000 feet of leasing space. Cohasset's economy has suffered greatly because of the pandemic, with facility closures and job layoffs. City leaders hope this development will ease their financial hit.
To help, maintain tax base and maintain jobs and kind of smooth out some of those large impacts that we're going to experience and the challenges that we're going to face, over the next 15 and 20 years.
Tonight at 10, we hear from the mayor of Cohasset about how this building will impact the city's future. The latest numbers show hunters and trappers have exceeded Wisconsin's wolf kill target by nearly 100 animals. The data updated this morning shows 213 wolves were harvested. That blows past the state's kill target for the general public of 119. The hunt began Monday and was supposed to run through Sunday, but the DNR shut it down Wednesday as it became clear hunters would exceed the target. Still to come on Live Local CBS3, folks waited in line at the deck for nearly 2 hours today. What they waited for coming up next.
Today's high temp of 35 was pretty mild, but the record will still stand at 53 from back in 1976. Tomorrow we could get closer to 40 degrees, but that won't last forever. We'll talk about a late weekend cool down and how drastic or benign that'll be coming up after our break.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health pediatrician Jonathan Knight talks about the importance of vision screening for children.
Vision screening is really important. A lot of disorders present early on. We can pick them up early on. And in fact, a lot of vision loss can be prevented. The risk of that can be reduced by as much as 50% by the age of 7. So if we identify it early, we can make some changes to prevent some blindness. So we actually start examining children's eyes right away when they're born. We have a tool that we use at every well check called an ophthalmoscope that we use to examine children's eyes to identify for any early problems that may arise. So it may not seem like a vision exam because they're not reading the eye chart, but we're actually looking at their eyes and trying to identify things that might cause some problems later on in life. One thing we look for a lot is cataracts, and if you don't identify those early in infancy, they can lead to permanent blindness.
Other things Dr. Knight looks for include if a child has difficulty focusing, if they don't respond when you look and smile at them, if one eye is brighter than the other, or if one eye wanders.
There are a lot of things that you can find out if you know what to look for. One of the things I want to say is that some kids, you wouldn't know they have a vision problem until later, but you can pick it up earlier if you use some sort of instrument-based screening as young as 1. Many kids can be put in glasses at a time you might not notice a lazy eye yet and could make a big difference in their overall vision into adulthood. Most kids don't really react negatively to that. They kind of get excited because they already notice that they're having some troubles.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medical insight.
New DQ rotisserie style chicken bites. I love you just the way you are. I never thought unbreaded chicken this good was possible. Your oven roasted 100% white meat chicken is 100% perfect to me. Finally, chicken that is tender, juicy, and flavorful all by itself. Or dipped in ranch. Or on a salad. Or in a basket with fries. Thank you, DQ, for giving me just what I needed. DQ. Happy tastes good.
He is not scared of us at all.
There are monsters among us. What we do with them and how we decide to root them out is a reflection of who we are.
Stay with him. Breathe with him. Before he realizes, oh snap, I'm dead.
He thinks I'm a weak link. To me.
CBS3 News is brought to you by Duluth Casino. CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Heritage Window and Door. Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, for some folks, this extended warm spell's been a blessing. For others, a curse. That's the way all weather goes. Someone likes whatever's coming, somebody doesn't. But this is the way it happened today. Warm spell continued, and top temps went warmer than the normal at 27 for every town. 34 International Falls and Ely, 36 Grand Rapids and Hibbing. 35 degrees in Hermantown, 38 in Superior, 36 towards Moose Lake, upper 30s in Hayward and Ashland too, mid to upper 30s for the Upper Peninsula. Tomorrow, 35 to 40 for the range of high temps, and Saturday may be a bit toasty too, but by Sunday we do step backwards. We go cooler than normal, and I'll talk about for how long with our 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. Right now at the airport in Duluth, the current temp is 33. 54% is our relative humidity, and we have a southwest wind going 11 miles per hour. For the next day or two, well, the trend is going to be for a southerly wind going 10 to 20 miles per hour in general, with gusts plus 30 miles per hour. So it'll be a windy period. Watch out for that. Air pressure 30.11 inches of mercury here, as higher pressure takes over for the short term. We're in between small low pressure systems. The third of three, though, is slated to come by tomorrow afternoon. Current temperatures, Upper Peninsula 32 degrees, northwestern Wisconsin running a range of 32 to 35, and in northern Minnesota it looks like a range of 28 to 33 is being found there. 28 International Falls, 33 in Hermantown, and overnight lows tonight likely will fall into the 20s, lower 20s for most towns, though a few dips into the upper teens are possible away from the lake. So let's move away from the temperatures and out to the Doppler map. And today we got early on a slight chance for a dusting of snow, which some towns did get, especially in northern Minnesota. Didn't add up to much. And now the clouds associated with that low pressure system, which was the second of the three, departing off to the east, and the clearer sky is coming in to set us up for a calm night overnight tonight. Calm conditions, but not drastically cool either. It will stay warmer than normal tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. And then there's that third low pressure system coming in for Friday afternoon, Friday evening, packing a 30% chance for light snow. And by light snow this time around, we're looking at under an inch for just about every town here, though, or now the latest estimates say could go to 1.1 inch. That could be the big winner as far as snow fans go. The rest of us, indeed, bubbling under an inch. In Wisconsin and east central Minnesota, the UP, not much at all. So not a huge deal, and it may be the last deal we get for snow for the rest of the week. I'll show you what that means with the 7-day as well. Tonight, Minnesota low temps in general 20 to 27, partly cloudy sky. Wisconsin, Michigan, partly cloudy there as well with low temps 20 to 24. For tomorrow, there's the warm one, 39 to 42 in Wisconsin and the UP, and a 30% forlorn chance for a trace at best of snow. For Minnesotans, again, or might pull an inch, otherwise less than an inch the rest of that region. High temps 37 to 42. Stays warm on Saturday with a high of 33. Again, the normal is 27. Sunday and Monday are the two cool days. We have highs in the lower 20s, and Tony, overnight lows will dip back into the single digits above zero. And dry spell. If we don't get that snow Friday, I don't see another chance, at least until perhaps next Friday.
Boy, dry spell. Aren't we used to that over the last year or so? My goodness.
Yeah, on a bright note there, though, they're saying that by they, I mean the long-range forecasting experts. I know out to a week. Other people have to take it past that.
Yeah.
But they're saying low risk of flooding this spring because of that. So that's a silver lining.
Yeah, a little silver lining. Thanks, Dave. Organizers for a free food giveaway outside the deck today were expecting some long lines. But as CBS 3's Alex Libby shows us, no one was ready for this big of a turnout.
Thursday's free food giveaway at the deck set out to help anyone in need.
It's fresh, it's healthy, and you can be, prepare things with it, and it kind of helps you save a little bit on what you didn't have.
Archie Davis says he heard about this drive-through food giveaway on Facebook and had a feeling he should get here early.
We might want to get here early, and when we got down here, I'm like, there's hundreds of cars already.
The line has been here since 8 this morning into the afternoon, still a long line, but people who got food here say it's moving quite quickly.
Davis wasn't the only one who was thrown off by the long lines. One organizer couldn't believe her eyes.
We knew that it was advertised really well and that there would be a good turnout, but I didn't expect people to be lined up by 8 o'clock this morning for an 11:30 event.
Beth McCuskey is the president of the Duluth Central Labor Body, one of the labor groups that came together to host this event. She says the surprising turnout shows just how much of the need there still is amid the ongoing pandemic.
Yeah, I guess we don't really realize how much food insecurity there is and the stress that it puts on families.
One Duluth man who has called the city home for the last 10 years came on his bicycle to get food for a family he lives near.
She's a single mom and has a couple of part-time jobs and a little one, and it will definitely help her.
People helping others in Duluth and around the country.
We were talking about Pennsylvania, Florida, and how we see the food lines, and then where we go from here, we here in Duluth, and we see the same thing. So this is crazy, but it's good.
2 semi-trucks full of boxes of fresh food and milk were given away today. They did run out earlier this afternoon. Still ahead in sports, UMD Women's Hoops begins the road to the NSIC title. Kelly is in with highlights coming up next.
Outfit your Can-Am with a plow from Duluth Lawn and Sports.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
At Lift Pro International, we have custom designed and fabricated lifting, weighing, and rigging solutions for more than 40 years. With a worldwide presence and reputation, we need world-class insurance to match. This is why we trust Cindy of Vernon Insurance to make sure we're fully covered no matter where in the world we're doing business.
Protect your home, vehicle, or business, and your peace of mind. Call Cindy at Vernon Insurance today.
Out with the old and in with the new. Kiss 2020 goodbye with new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen. Renewal by Andersen is celebrating the new year with 21% off your window and door project, including installation. Plus, receive an additional $600 off your entire project. With no money down, no payments, and no interest financing for 12 months, it's like getting free windows for a year. Call before February 28th to book your free no-contact virtual consultation or visit us at northlandrba.com.
The most important thing in the Chevy Equinox is not forward collision alert or automatic emergency braking. No, the most important thing in the Equinox isn't any of the advanced safety features we've put into it. It's what you put into it. Chevy Safety Assist, standard on every 2021 Chevy Equinox.
Get a $4,000 cash allowance on most 2021 Equinox models. Plus, current Chevy owners with an eligible GM credit card get an additional $1,750 total allowance. Visit TrueNorthChevyDealers.com.
Amazing power, amazing speed, one ultra cool price. Take your internet to the extreme, starting at $19.99 a month for 1 year. Experience blazing hot speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Turn up the intensity with powerful in-home Wi-Fi and stay chill with 99.99% network reliability. Get extreme internet, starting at $19.99 a month for 1 year. Dial 844-EXTREME2.
The new Kubota LX Series, built with comfort and versatility to outlast any job on the list. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo.
No one serves you better than Bullet Implement.
Is your child on track? As a caregiver, we love watching babies reach milestones, like that first smile, that first giggle, first steps and words. Some children need a little extra help to learn and grow. If you've noticed that your child isn't reaching certain milestones, don't worry. Free help is available for children ages birth to 5. Whether your child is at home, in daycare, or in preschool, the Help Me Grow referral system connects you to the early intervention program in your area. Visit helpmegrowmn.org or your local school district to make sure your child is on track.
There is nothing that we want more than students learning together safely.
And we only get to do that if we can all get through this together with everybody safe and healthy.
We can do this.
We can do this.
Local news and local weather here on CBS3.
Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
It has been yet another season to remember for the UMD women's basketball team. Just one loss on the season of ups and downs due to the COVID-19 pandemic, canceling and postponing games. Well, today the road toward an NSIC title began in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, taking on USF. First quarter, Bulldogs came out firing. They find an open Brooke Olson. She buries the 3 out of her game-high 31. UMD jumps out to the early 11-2 lead. To the second, USF closes the gap to 8 when they feed Anna Goodhope, who cashes in her 3 of her team-high 14. Cougars down by 5. To the third, USF still battling. Emily Petersman spots Lauren Saunders, who connects on the triple. She added 11, and USF worked the lead down to 8, but the Bulldogs were just too much for them. They extend their lead in the third quarter, and Simonet drills the 3. UMD up 52-30 at this point. Minnesota Duluth finishes strong. They win 78-64 to move on.
We knew that we needed to be focused coming in today's game because the South, then their style of play is a little different from the North. So we knew that they're going to come out running and shooting, and we just had to contain them in transition. And we did exactly that. We took our scout and we stuck together as a team and we executed.
It's the first time in 6 seasons that Sioux Falls won't be playing in these semifinals, which is where UMD will be on Saturday. They'll play the winner of Bemidji State and Concordia St. Paul. That game is set for tomorrow morning. And what a ride it has been for the UMD women's hockey seniors. 5 of them playing their potentially last regular season games at Amsoil this weekend, with a lot on the line to continue their storied careers in Bulldog uniforms. Hannah Markle, Monique Onsen, Mackenzie Revering, Ashton Bell, and Anna Klein, the 5 Bulldog seniors who have all helped in some part to continue the growth of UMD women's hockey into the top 10 program year in and year out that it is. They will look to become a group of Bulldog seniors to win or share the WCHA regular season title since the 2009-2010 season.
You come in wanting to be successful and working towards that. You always have the goal of going to the NCAA tournament. Being able to actually play for a WCHA title this year is super awesome. I mean, wouldn't want it any other way.
And the eyes for a WCHA regular season title starts tomorrow night. They will take on #1 in the entire country, Wisconsin. Both Friday and Saturday's game will be on the CW. Myself and Zach Schneider will be on the call for both games. And Minnesota Timberwolves guard Malik Beasley is facing a 12-game suspension. The NBA announced today. The Athletic's Shams Charania was the first to report Beasley's suspension. Earlier this month, Beasley was sentenced to serve 120 days in the workhouse after pleading guilty to a felony count of threats of violence. The suspension stems from that incident. According to a criminal complaint, Beasley used a rifle to threaten a family who was on the Parade of Homes tour in September and stopped at the Plymouth home where he rents with his wife. And that's going to do it for sports for now. We'll have more coming up tonight in the CBS3 News at 10. Tony, I'll send it back to you for now.
Thanks, Kelly. Also tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, lawmakers are eagerly awaiting a ruling about whether the $15 an hour minimum wage mandate will be allowed to remain in President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. We'll have the details from Washington tonight. And before we go, eyes were on the northern skies after a meteor burned bright over Canada and some parts of the U.S. Its path was caught on security and doorbell cameras in the wee hours of the night. A meteor's fiery effect happens when rock or other space debris burns up as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. This one was bright enough to be classified as a fireball. According to the American Meteor Society, there were more than 400 reports of sightings, mostly in Canada. However, the fireball was also visible in neighboring regions of Canada and Montana. Dave, no matter how many of those I see, I'll just never get sick of that cascading light just whoo across the sky. It's so cool to see.
They are beautiful, but we have to keep in mind that astrometeors and hydrometeors are 2 different animals. And so hydrometeors, wet things that fall from the sky, we might get another chance for that come tomorrow afternoon and evening. It's a 30% chance for snow flurries that might try to add up to a trace to an inch. High temp 38 Friday, goes towards partial sunshine and a high of 33 on Saturday. Then we cool down a bit for Sunday and Monday, but not drastically so. And then we hold on to sunshine from Monday through next Thursday.
Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you again at 10.